Hey everyone, it is a perfect spring day. Temperatures right now are about 40 degrees or 5 degrees Celsius, but it's gonna rise really well today. Today the high temperature is gonna be in the 70s or about 22 Celsius. So, got a beautiful sunshine. We had a good amount of snow in the woods. A lot of it's been melting. There's still some in the darker areas. We had 2 days of straight rain, wall to wall, all day long, heavy rain. So we've been doing a lot of culvert inspections. Days like this is when they're gonna show vulnerabilities on the drainage system. But we've been very proactive this year, and I can tell you, even after this heavy rain, we caught most of the blockages and identified most of the problems before they could even occur. So we barely had any issues. This is the closest thing we're gonna get to the spring thaw. This year, most of the snow was gone before the heavy spring rains came through. So we did get some good flooding. There's a lot of parts of the road today that are underwater, but it's not because of a clogged pipe. It's because of there's not enough capacity, or the drainage ditches are neglected and they need to be dug out. In all of those areas that are flooding, we're marking them all with blue ribbon, because as soon as the flood is gone, when they start fixing these roads after mud season in the beginning of June, a lot of these places you're not even gonna know the issue exists. It's because the ground is still frozen and it can't absorb a lot of water that would typically not cause floods in the summertime. So we got 2 culverts here. One that's working, one that's completely off. I think we'll be able to open these up in literally a minute because of what's blocking it. When it was pouring rain, this must have been up here a lot more. I don't see evidence either way we look that it was actually crossing the road. It could have been in the road a little bit. I look down, see the foam. These pipes were definitely completely underwater early this morning when it was still raining. But now it's a beautiful sunny day and let's get to work. Nice crystal clear water too. And what do we got? What's in the water right there? I'm just noticing that. Whatever it is, it's broken. Is that, I think it's a sugar maple tube. There's a lot of maple sugar farms around here. I'm thinking that's what that is. It's broken though. They're just running it through the culvert. I didn't notice that. Is it on the other side also? I don't see it. Oh, yeah, I do. It's down there in the riverbed, broken again. We'll check that out later. Alrighty, camera number 2 is going. Look at all that foam down there that's caused by organic rotting material. I also want to point this out up close before we do it. We might have some excitement. That ice dam is likely gonna get broken free when we open it. And look at that, despite it being deep in the ground, this plastic pipe has damage. It got crushed by a frost heave. So we're gonna have to mark it as failed inspection. This one, oh, is that the blockage? Nope. It's also partially crushed. They always seem to crush at the coupling in the middle of the road. It's the weakest point. Frost will just crush it. So yeah, the hose is actually intact. I just didn't see it underneath the rapids. I'm not sure what that is, but we don't really have to be careful of it. It's already broken in a multitude of spots. All right, let's get over here. We're gonna open this thing up. Kind of want to get to the other side. I'm gonna put the camera over on the other side because this is gonna be very quick but fun. Trying not to flood my boots. So this water here was surging a lot faster last night during these flood waters. Okay, good angle. Alrighty, let's open it up. Alright, we got that one open. Some of that stuff was hard to lift out of there. That was a back-breaking one. Some of these things, you can feel them in your body the rest of the day. That hose was a pain in the butt. Let's look on inside now. I can't see, but I'm pretty sure the ice dam is gone. And look at all those suds. It was all the way up here. Oh, at the last moment I got water in. Did the ice dam come out? I don't think it did. See how the ice, or see how the water's only coming out on the edges of it? Something is still there. Can we break it free manually? We're gonna try to break it free manually. Yeah, I don't see anything down there either. Yeah, the ice dam is still there. But while it's got pressure against it, we better try to do something about it. Even if we can't, it'll be sure to melt out of there. That much water going over it, that'll melt that ice dam probably just us staring at it, it'll melt out of there. Because the water wasn't touching it, it was flowing under the ice before. I want to see it come out. What I'm doing is probably not going to help. That piece of ice is very, very heavy. But just give it a couple minutes. It will erode out on itself. It'll come out of there. I want to poke at it some more, so I'm going to set you up right here. I hear something going on in there. I'm trying to adjust the camera without pausing anything. Alright, I'm going to mess with it. Oh, whoa! There we go. And that's only part of it. I can't believe we found an ice dam in the month of May. And look, there's more of it. This froze all the way under the road. Now it makes sense why the pipe got crushed by ice. The whole road up here, it can freeze down up to 6 feet, the frost line. Is that it? All clear, and I gotta show you inside. On the inside, now that the ice dam is gone, you can clearly see the damage. Look at that. Frost heaving did it right at the joint. Is that a joint? Let's look at the walls of it. Yes, it is. Look, you can see it has sprung a leak. That's where they jointed it together. It's quite the angle we're looking in there at. So it might not even be a joint, but I'm assuming it is. Same exact issue at the other side. You see how it's crushed in from the top? Yes, that could have been started by a heavy vehicle. It could be entirely a heavy vehicle, but what I think is surface of the road froze. And then as it kept freezing deeper and deeper into the ground, the path of least resistance for the water that's freezing to expand was into the pipe. Camera number 2 off. So that's how it happened. Plastic pipes shouldn't be used out here. You almost never see issues like this with a metal pipe. You do, but it's extremely rare. I'm sure glad I stopped at this one. This was a lot more eventful than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be stepping out for like a 30-second job. This stuff was packed in there way tighter than I thought. Can't believe how much debris this river managed to get. Because this wasn't flooding like this last week. Although last week it wasn't flooding, so I probably wouldn't even have detected the problem. Because we drive over at least 1,000 pipes a day, so unless there's a reason to stop at them, you can't inspect them all. And that's exactly why we come out during heavy rain. Most inspectors refuse to come out on these roads during heavy rain. So that's why the logging company hired me to do some of this stuff, because I'll literally be out here in the pouring rain inspecting pipes, because that's when you spot all the problems. Right now, it has stopped raining at midnight. It is now not even 8 in the morning. Only 8 hours since the rain has stopped. Most people aren't even on shift yet, and the floodwaters everywhere have already receded by like half. It's not like in the summer. In the summer, if it rains for a couple days, it soaks the ground like a sponge. It slowly releases, so things will be running high for a while. The ground is still frozen. It can't absorb this water. It's running off of it. So it floods very quickly. It also drains very quickly. By this evening, I expect all water levels to be back down to normal again. Things rise, things fall very quickly this time of year. There's no absorption. And around here, it's not like some places around the world. The soil around here is very, very sandy. So even in the summer, water still recedes usually in a couple of days. So right here we have a card that they didn't even fill out yet. So this summer, this forest is getting cut down again for pulpwood. I don't think right here. I think it's here and beyond. Because the trees here just look small. There's a couple big ones, but I think they're gonna log over here. You see all the blue that's marked going through here? They're not allowed to cut. This isn't no 75 feet. This is probably 25 feet. By law of a waterway, they're not supposed to be cutting within 75 feet. So it starts like this, but you see it quickly veers off. So yeah, probably 75 feet. I guess they just wanted this big tree. So they twisted the rule there a little bit. I'm just joking, but still, you're supposed to, in most cases, 75 feet a buffer from streams, or 200 feet from wetland. They're not supposed to log it. That's the rule. Now, if this was only drainage, they could log right up to it. They could drive heavy equipment through it, excavators through it. No environmental rule against it. But if the stream is permanent, meaning it doesn't typically dry up in the summer, they can't go near it. And I'm thinking that this is always here. It looks like an actual stream bed. But then again, look where it's coming from. It's coming from places that look like they'd probably dry up in the summer. But they marked it with blue, so that means it does have to follow that rule. I don't have a signal right now, but I'm guessing if I look this up online, there's probably a little blue squiggle through here, which means it's an official stream. So that's how that works. Now, if I didn't give that a push, that would have came out on its own. Quick moving water, especially with debris in it. Now, that's not the dirtiest water, but it would still cut through ice fairly fast. We did one of these a couple weeks ago. The water was filthy. It looked like coffee. It cut through the ice abnormally fast. It was so interesting to watch. Maybe we'll find another one like this today. I can't believe it. It's May 3rd, and we found an ice dam. And usually ice dams, if the pipe is buried deep, only occur on the end couple feet. This thing appeared like it was all the way through here, which means the whole road froze down. These pipes probably froze solid in the winter. Or I'm guessing it froze up and then it just stopped flowing because you see the shape of the ice dam. I don't think that was ever occupying the full diameter of the pipe. Or maybe it occupied the full diameter until the crushed area. Then it just backed up because it couldn't flow anymore. Regardless, it's had a bunch of time to start defrosting, and that's why it came out so easily. It's impossible really to unclog these things unless you have a heated jet. That's how they would get ice dams out under the public roads that can't wait until the spring thaw. They'd come out with basically a pressure washer jet with hot water, and they'd slowly feed it through it. All you have to do is make a tiny little hole going through the ice dam in the pipe. And as long as it's above freezing, it'll quickly cut its way through within hours. All you had to do is make a hole through it the size of a garden hose, and it will cut through it. I saw some guy's video on YouTube. It's a pretty old video, but maybe you've seen it. The guy had an issue with his pipes constantly freezing, so what he basically did is he put a tiny PVC pipe through the entire thing with a cap on each end of it. And he secured it so it couldn't get washed out. When the pipe completely froze through, he opened the cap on each end, allowing the water to be able to go through the tiny little pipe, which heated the pipe and eventually melted the whole thing out. That was actually really super cool. So I am clueless about what this is. Looking around, I don't see maple trees anywhere. Not many of them, at least. This is not a maple farm. I've never known this area to have any maple production. So what do you think that line is? You think it's a water line giving pressure to somebody? That sounds more like it. There's a lot of random camps and off-grid properties out here. Maybe this pipe just kind of got broken throughout the winter and they'll have to fix it in the spring. This might just be providing pressure. For example, if there's like a cabin down there and they ran this thing, who knows how far up the mountain, and there's probably like a little pool of water. It's basically a giant siphon, and say it has like 100 feet of elevation, it's probably providing enough pressure to run showers, faucets, toilets, all kinds of things during the summer months. That could be what it is. Leave in the comments if you think that's a possibility. I was thinking maple syrup because you see this quite often in certain areas of the wilderness because that's what they're doing, but I really don't think that's the case around right here. I don't think it is. They want big, mature maple trees, not what you see here. There's some really, really nice big cedar trees in there. I'm just babbling on. I like this location. It's very pretty here. Let's clean up. Let's get out of here. I hope today's video was interesting, everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Oh, whoa! There we go. And that's only part of it. I can't believe we found an ice dam in the month of May. And look, there's more of it. This froze all the way under the road. Now it makes sense why the pipe got crushed by ice. The whole road up here, it can freeze down up to 6 feet, the frost line. Is that it? All clear, and I gotta show you inside. On the inside, now that the ice dam is gone, you can clearly see the damage. Look at that. Frost heaving did it. Oh, whoa! There we go. And that's only part of it. I can't believe we found an ice dam in the month of May. And look, there's more of it. This froze all the way under the road. Now it makes sense why the pipe got crushed by ice. The whole road up here, it can freeze down up to 6 feet, the frost line. Is that it? All clear, and I gotta show you inside. Oh, whoa! There we go. And that's only part of it. I can't believe we found an ice dam in the month of May. And look, there's more of it. This froze all the way under the road. Now it makes sense why the pipe got crushed by ice. The whole road up here, it can freeze down up to 6 feet, the frost line. Is that it? All clear, and I gotta show you inside.